Okay,
how do we know if it's recording?
Yes, I'm here with Kane and EGSuppy, and we are having some drinks. So how are you guys enjoying the trip in Korea so far?
You go.
It's very good. Enjoying it a lot.
It's a lot of fun, yeah.
Yeah, every day has been really cool and kind of like a dream come true, because like I've been freaking, it's corny, but it's true. Like we went to like the Pro League arena and stuff and did a bunch of things that I remember as a little kid I was watching on YouTube, so it's really awesome.
It's true, yeah.
We have managed to meet all the teams so far.
Every team. I kind of want to see SKT again, because I didn't get to talk to them that much. It is really hard to talk to them though, because obviously the language barrier, but it's cool to take pictures with them.
Yeah.
I didn't meet CJ or IM because I went home early that night, but I got to meet Samsung yesterday, and I got to meet Roro, who's one of my favorite players. So that was really cool. And yeah, I agree with Suppy. It's like, you know, you watch all these stuff online, and then you finally come here and see everything in person, and it's like insane. So it's really, really cool.
What's interesting is that literally every day you have a Pro League match.
Yeah, there's just always stuff going on. And today there's another Pro League match. Tomorrow there's GSL.
Exactly.
There's just like matches going on all the time. It's a lot different than
North America.
Yeah, you have like one event per like 5 months or something.
If that. Yeah.
It's really the mecca of Starcraft scene.
Yeah, it definitely is. But I don't know, they've been doing this for so much longer than North America or Europe. Like they started with Brood War, and they've always had like the infrastructure to support it, and it kind of reflects in what you see here for sure.
Why do you think North American scene lacks the infrastructure for esports, or could that be improved? Or
one of the big problems with North America is definitely that it's so big and spread out. It's not like Korea where everybody is so close together, so you can actually have like one place where they all come to play Pro League. The same thing happened when I was in Taiwan. They're all close enough that they can go to one studio and practice and play. But in North America, it's just so far away. Events are hard to run because people are far away. And then, other than that, it's just, I think North America has the biggest stigma against like video gaming professionally. Like Europe, it's already developing quite quickly in Europe. And eventually it will in North America too, but I think it's definitely lagging behind Asia and Europe.
Yeah, I'd agree. Nothing more to add, really.
Everybody says that game, but here it's so alive.
Especially when you go to like the Pro League studio, and you see big teams like SKT and KT playing each other, and you see all the fangirls and like hundreds of people in the audience and stuff. It's really cool, for sure.
So Kane, you have the your WCS match tomorrow.
It's actually Thursday. Yeah. 2 days.
Do you feel prepared?
Like in the past, I would prepare a ton for a match. Like I would play a lot and just like ladder a ton. And in the past few months, I'd say probably 3 to 4 months, I've been taking more of a relaxed approach. And to be honest, I feel like it's helped my game even more than practicing. Like, it seems kind of counterintuitive, and I guess it is, but it just helps me stay less stressed. And when I lose on ladder, or when I go into a losing streak, instead of saying, oh, like I've practiced so much, I should be winning all of these games, I say to myself, like, it's kind of what Stefano used to say, I guess, but it was like, I haven't been practicing a ton, so it's kind of okay if I lose this match. Like, so it just helps me de-stress a lot. And instead of playing a lot, I've been watching more than anything else, especially because North America right now isn't very good practice. Like, when I was in Europe, you'd get good players every game, almost every game. And in North America, you get a good player once every maybe 6-7 games, something like that. So it's just not worth my time to ladder. So yeah, watching Pro League, watching GSL, watching some European tournaments like Home Story Cup is coming up, stuff like that. It's more helpful for sure.
That's an interesting point. Would you feel that more Koreans on the North American ladder would help with raising the bar?
definitely it would, but they really don't have any reason to ladder on North America other than the wildcard qualifiers for WCS, where they have to get 200 wins in order to play the qualifier. But what happens is that since the Koreans are really good, like they already get into Premier League, and then they don't even have to play the wildcard qualifiers anymore. So it's like you see less and less good Koreans each and every time in the WCS qualifiers. So obviously it would be nice to have lots of Koreans on there, but they have no reason to.
They have no reason.
Yeah.
I honestly think the NA ladder scene would be fine if all the NA players were consistently playing on the NA server.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's just all the good players just go to different servers. So there's very few of the top NA players that are actually even playing NA ladder. So I stopped playing NA ladder, and he stopped playing quite a while ago. And just like Scarlet's on Korea,
QXC plays on Europe.
Yeah.
Huck plays NA.
Yeah, he plays NA.
Genocider plays Europe. It's just like all the decent players in NA just
basically we are watching a transition away from the NA ladder.
Yes, exactly.
It's been happening for a while, especially when they introduced global play. That actually, I mean, it was really good that they introduced that, but it actually like killed the NA ladder because they just went it wherever.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sapi, about the when we compare the Korean Starcraft scene to the North American? What do you think it could be improved?
Well, I think North American Starcraft scene, I don't know, it's hard to compare because, you know, the Korean scene is so different. But what could be improved is just having more events and supporting
more competition.
Yeah, more competition and supporting the NA players more. I know a lot of people will say things like, oh, like it's not fun to watch if it's only NA players, but I think NA only tournaments are actually pretty fun, and they actually improve the skill level of the NA scene.
The problem is with those is that there's no incentive. Like each and every tournament they're going to be losing money. Like I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like nobody wants to run tournaments anymore because it's not financially viable. I could be wrong though. What do you think?
No, I don't think most people are running tournaments anymore, like to get money. Like it's
more for love of the game.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to make money with StarCraft tournaments right now. It's a harsh climate, but I don't know. I think StarCraft's still doing okay. We just need, like Brood War, for example. Like nobody played that or watched that like outside of Korea, but we still had a really tight knit community. So in comparison, StarCraft is still doing really well compared to that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think worst case scenario is that StarCraft 2 kind of reverts to that community that Suppy's talking about, where it's really tight knit and, you know, it focuses on the Korean scene obviously, but I don't know, I wouldn't even mind it that much if it became smaller. Obviously you wouldn't be as able to make it a career, but it would still be kind of fun to see that small community, that really hardcore fans, you know.
Do you think it's worrying that we see so many pro players retire? I have recently seen a tweet of Cats that he's also retiring.
You know, I think it was kind of bound to happen eventually. There was a huge saturation of pro players. Like, and there's no way that you can have all of those pro players making it a career. It's not mainstream enough yet. And I think it was bound to happen eventually. I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I'm not worried at all, actually. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's good to see, but it was bound to happen. Yeah.
Do you think the third expansion, the last expansion will improve the scene?
Yeah, when Heart of the Storm came out, the viewership actually went up quite a bit. It really depends. Like right now, we're all hinging on how Blizzard's going to take the expansion.
Okay.
I think a lot of people have. I mean, I don't think we should have high hopes because I feel like Blizzard hasn't like done great, but they really could do something great with the next expansion. They could make it really good. If they make drastic, big changes, they could do a lot for this game. Like they need to be willing to do balance changes that are more than just tweaking a unit's damage or a unit's speed or whatever.
Yeah.
They could do huge ones like how the economy, how the economy works, how certain mechanics work, like warp gate and force fields, and just changing how pathing works. I think all of those would be really good for the scene, and just making it a more fun sport to watch.
More fun as in removing swarm hosts? More fun?
Yeah, removing swarm. I think they're going to do that already, but
they'll change it. I don't think they'll remove it entirely, but they'll definitely change them up. What I'm kind of worried, well, not worried about, but what I'm thinking about is even if they do make huge changes in the last expansion, will that make a difference in terms of viewership, in terms of tournaments and stuff like that? And in my mind, what I see happening is the same thing as Heart of the Swarm, where you have a spike in viewers at first, but then that eventually declines back to where we started, or even more so. So I'm wondering if even huge changes will invite more viewers and more fans to the scene, and I'm not sure that it will, to be honest.
That's a good point. To be honest though, I think one of the big things was in early 2010 or like 2011 when the game was doing great, a lot of it was because the foreigners were actually doing so well, and like, you know, we had Americans and Canadians like winning MLGs and stuff, so people were really excited about it. There was more drama in the scene. We had like Cruncher versus Idra, like drama, and people were really into that. Like, now that the Koreans are dominating so much, we see a lot less of that, and there's a lot less of foreign hopes. Every now and then we get a foreign hope. Like recently we've had like Well-No and Snoop's doing pretty well recently. Scarlet Naniwa being the foreign hopes like in the past year, but it's nowhere near the level where people would cheer for like Idra and Huck at every tournament and those big names. So,
and the reason that is, foreign hope today doesn't mean what it did like years ago, you know? Foreign hope today is like beating Koreans in Acer Team Story Cup or something, whereas foreign hope back then meant like winning an MLG versus top tier Koreans, or like Stefano beating Polt in Lone Star Clash. Like that's what a foreign hope was. And now today you're lucky to see a foreigner in like top 4 of really good tournaments, you know?
Yeah, we really need a foreign hope, like an actual foreign hope of old again. For example, whenever like, say when Scarlet made it really far in Aces Frog, the viewer counts just spiked super high. Or when Naniwa got second in IEM, viewer counts super high. Yeah. If Stefano could make a comeback, that would be great. He's doing pretty well right now, but you know, that would actually really help the scene as well, just having another foreign hope.
I actually think Snoot and Wilmu are good candidates for that. Like, Snoot taking games off of Hyun all the time. He's won the best, like, he's won the last 4 best of 3s or best of 5s or something like that versus Hyun. So I think as time goes on, maybe we will see a return of like a really strong foreign hope. But I don't know if that's too likely. I don't know.
It'll be tough for sure.
Yeah, it'll be hard.
So basically, you think that a little bit of more, let's say, a little bit more drama from the players would help.
We were actually talking about this in Korea with some of the Dota people we met up with, and they were talking about how little drama, like trash talking and stuff, is not a big deal, but it's just like something that makes the game exciting, and it makes it so people have an interest in who's going to win this fight, and they're like in grudge matches or whatever. Whereas in StarCraft, if you say one little bad thing, the entire community will hate you for it, and like you're considered really bad manner and an arrogant douche or something. I've always like I have to say I've liked that StarCraft is kind of the gentleman's sport, but I have to agree that the drama and the trash talking of fighting games and Dota and League of Legends, that's what makes them a lot more exciting to watch certain matches. Because even if the matches are really bad, it's still really fun to see like who comes out on top after trash talking.
Yeah. It was the same with like the Naniwa Scarlet thing. Like I know they're very friendly on Skype and stuff like that. But you know, on Twitter and stuff like that, they always trash talk each other, and it adds a lot of drama. So that's why so many people tuned in to see that show match between them. And I think fighting games especially is kind of evidence of how trash talking and a lot of drama like that can add to some of the passion of the scene and make fans more invested, kind of. So yeah, I think it'd be fun to see StarCraft kind of turn into that.
I actually just came up with an idea right now. Like when I go back, the Starcraft Clan Wars was really cool. We did like a USA versus Canada show match, and that was pretty fun. And that's what started the Starcraft Clan Wars. Total Biscuit said that was kind of his inspiration for it. But now when I go back, I kind of just want to like trash talk all the teams we're going to be facing and just try and force people to like trash talk each other back. Total Biscuit has been a really big supporter of, you know, trash talking and stuff just for fun. And when we had like Starcraft America, he like encouraged the players in the pre-game interviews to, you know, bad manner a little bit, make it more exciting. So yeah, I think when I go back, I think I should do a little bit more trash talk, even though I'm not someone who typically trash talks people.
I think with the Showcraft America thing, I completely agree. But I know it was right before the match that the trash talking happened, and you'd have to be already watching the stream. So I think if it was released like a couple days beforehand or something, and you have these two players absolutely trash talking each other and saying, oh, this guy's complete crap, or this guy's gonna get dominated, you know, that would be really cool to see. I know I would definitely tune in to see, you know, Suppy saying, oh, Scarlet's complete trash, she's no good, she's like becoming worse. I would definitely see that.
No.
I would definitely tune in to see that show match. Absolutely.
Do you guys think it would be beneficial for the StarCraft scene if more foreign players would join the Korean?
Like the Casper teams?
Yeah, the Casper teams. Like what State did? And would you be interested in joining a Korean team?
I think there's...
And playing in the Korea products.
I think there's a couple problems with that. The first being is that foreigners aren't as good as Koreans. That's the #1 problem right there. No Korean teams really want foreigners right now because they have like almost every player on their team is equal or better than foreigners right now.
And it'd be probably cheaper.
It'd be cheaper to get Korean players. Foreigners expect a lot more in terms of financial support, travel, stuff like that. I would say State's kind of an exception because I know he's very dedicated to the game. He probably didn't ask for much money. And he just wants to get better, whereas I know a lot of foreign players are more interested in the moolah, the cash. But if you had players who were motivated to get a lot better, and that's all, then I could see it being beneficial for sure. And it might be nice for Korean teams even to have a foreigner on their team, just to add some personality, add some, you know, English language skills, stuff like that.
How much do you ladder per day?
Recently, I haven't been doing as much as I would like to. At my best, for example, when I was in Taiwan, I would do as much as, you know, the Koreans are known to do. I would do like 8 to 10 hours a day. I've heard they do more, but that was like a pretty good point for me where I was playing a lot, and being in a team house just really motivated me to play a lot more because, you know, everyone around you is working so hard. So it makes you want to work a lot harder. Recently, not so much. So to be honest, I would say maybe like 2 or 3 hours a day, which is kind of embarrassing because I'm full-time. And when I was in school, I was doing pretty much that same amount, like 2 or 3 hours a day. But whenever there's a tournament coming up, I'll prepare a lot. So for example, I had to face a live in WCS less than a week ago. And the days leading up to that, I was playing pretty much the whole day and just looking at VODs whenever I wasn't playing and just making sure I was as prepared as possible.
So do you study your opponent before competition? Do you play the player and not the race?
Yeah, I definitely study the opponent. It was hard to study live because he didn't have too many VODs, but if there's any resources available, you have to take advantage of whatever resources. And yeah, I just want to say that when you're in the act of preparing for a match, that's actually when I have the most fun, like playing StarCraft. And so if there were more matches to prepare for, I think if other people feel that way, like when preparing for a specific match is really, really fun and motivates them to play hard, that's the type of thing that would increase the skill level of the North American scene. So.
Do you ask your EG colleagues for advice for certain opponents?
Yeah.
Like J-Dom, do you ask J-Dom for advice?
I occasionally ask Jaedong. There's language barriers for sure, and it's a little bit hard to communicate. So generally, when my ZVT's been my best matchup for like a year now, and I think the reason for that is I talk a lot and practice a lot with my Terran practice partners and my teammate Zenicider, and he's really helped me improve my ZVT as well as Major. So yeah, I do talk to my teammates, but predominantly I talk to like Zenicider. I definitely should be utilizing the rest of my teammates more.
What about you, Ken?
In terms of practicing with teammates and
Yeah.
stuff? I actually don't practice with teammates very often. One of the reasons is I feel kind of bad asking them because I know Jotchi and Stardust are a lot better than me. But yeah, I mean, if I'm having trouble with a specific strategy or something like that, I'll ask them. Especially if I'm preparing for a match. I'll also ask, say, EGSuppy about, because my upcoming WCS match is versus Top, a Chinese Protoss. And I know EGSuppy played on the Korean-Taiwan server, same with Top. So like I'll ask EGSuppy, hey, do you know anything about this guy's style, stuff like that. So it's not just teammates I really look to, it's more people that would know this guy's style, stuff like that, friends that I have.
You said earlier about the fact that there is not much point in laddering on the US, on the North American right now, but so do you feel that there is actually nothing to improve anymore on this ladder, and this is why you are going to Taiwan to get better competition?
Yeah, I mean, when I play on NA, it's kind of like I can lose games on NA, but it's not. This is going to sound cocky, but it's not very often that I do lose games.
Okay.
Part of the reason being because most of the other players that I play just aren't as developed, I would say. So that's why, yeah, that's definitely why I'm going to Taiwan. Because I feel like there's nothing else that I can really learn from the North American server, especially when you only get that good player every 6 or 7 games. So I think the Korean server will be a lot better because you get more good players consistently. And it was the same with Europe to an extent. I'm not sure what it's like recently, but when I was in Europe, I know when I first got there, it was like I was getting beaten every other game, which is good because you want to lose, you want to learn how to play, you want to learn from your mistakes, and you can't really do that in North America because you're winning every game. So
exactly, and when, for example, when me and Kane played on North America, or at least Kane, like I remember when he finally decided to stop playing North America, he was rank 1 literally the whole season, and it was just like, what, like you don't have any more motivation to keep laddering. It's like, but when I was playing Korea, I was like rank 150 or something, and I was like, oh, like this is really fun, like my next goal is rank 100, and then I hit that goal and I was like, sweet, my next goal is like rank 75, and like you just have this continued sense of progress, whereas if you're on the American server, you're like rank 1 or rank 2 like the entire season. It doesn't feel like you're improving or you're going anywhere. So laddering on Korea is definitely different.
I remember a couple years ago when I was still learning StarCraft and still getting up there, and you know, your rank, say 150, same with on the US server, and you feel like, hey, I'm getting stomped by, you know, high GMs and mid GMs and stuff. I suck, and it gives you motivation to get better. That's where motivation comes from. You want to improve, and yeah, EGSuppy's right. When you're really high ranked and you're not, you don't feel like you're getting any better, any worse. You're just staying there. So you almost need to ladder on another server, or you need to get all the North American players that are good back to North America. But I don't think that's going to happen because there's no incentive.
Occasionally there is the Shoutcraft America that Toto Biscuit runs, which that's really when you feel like, wow, if North America was always like this, it would be great. Like we would have a great ladder, like so much competition, people really fighting to get those top 16 spots.
That's one of the most fun times to ladder that I've ever had, actually, because you're always keeping track of each player and you're always looking like who's going to beat and you watch streams and say, oh, he's ranked 16, he's almost there, you know. It's so much fun during those times.
Yeah, and what's great is also because they're laddering for Shoutcraft and you know who they are, they're not just barcodes. So every time you play them, you know who you're playing, which is also really cool, and it just adds an entire new meaning to each ladder match because it's really important, those points. You really need those points. And for example, if you're playing someone you really hate, you'll just be like playing super extra hard to make sure they lose.
I'd almost like to see like a weekly cup or something like a monthly cup even, where it's the top, say, 32 players or 64 players of ladder that get invited to the cup. And it doesn't have to be a $10,000 tournament like Shellcraft or something like that. It could be like probably $200, $300 and people would still play it. It's still money, you know. I'd love to see that. And we used to see that with, I know Thunder Toss did a King of the Hill, a weekly King of the Hill, where the top,
It was top 200.
Top 200. Even that's cool, like getting to GM. If you had like a top 100, top 50 King of the Hill or something, that'd be really cool. That'd be fun.
Right. Well, thank you very much.